Hey yo, it's me, it's RVE. What's up everyone? It is July 2nd, the day of greatness, the date of birth of yours truly, Bret the Hitman Hart, and the daughter of this gentleman, as I use the term loosely, that I'm about to introduce. I've got with me this week the exalted AEW disgusted in wrestling dude. What's up, buddy?
Disgusted in wrestling dude might have to be my my new name there, dude. Yeah, so we got three pretty important birthdays. We've got the birthday of the GOAT, that'd be my daughter, and then we have the birthday of the two that look like goats. That would be RVE and Bret the Hitman Hart.
We do look like the greatest of all time, both. I'll tell you that much.
I'm telling you, you do. But you know what else? How would we possibly celebrate Bret the Hitman Hart's birthday here on the HeelCast other than, wait for it, Raven Effect, to introduce our third co-host tonight?
That is sick. Now, this isn't the Goldberg that kicked Bret Hart in the head, but we
Yes, it is.
We have the debuting Goldberg here, and while he may have never stepped into a wrestling ring, I'd still guarantee he'd probably have a better match with The Undertaker than the other Goldberg just had recently. But Goldberg, what's up, buddy?
Goldberg,
Probably
you're muted.
On mute, my friend.
He really is Goldberg because he doesn't talk.
All right, I got it. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Nope.
sir.
Okay. Well, let me just thank you guys first for having me on. I appreciate it, and I got plenty I want to get off my chest. Unlike the real Goldberg, that's true.
Who's next? I wonder.
Well, you know, when I was in middle school, I used to tell my kids that Goldberg was my uncle. They'd give me something for him to sign. I'd go home and sign it myself, and they were thrilled. They couldn't believe it.
Should have charged them.
I should have.
Still, doing the right thing. But, all right, gentlemen, we're going to hop into the show here. Just a couple plugs. Of course, the HeelCast. Check out our HeelCast family. Check out Larkin, who's got the LFC podcast, the S&M podcast, the I Fucked a Fat Woman on Television podcast, and every podcast known to man, Larkin has done it. And I also want to give a big shout out and congratulations to our buddy Kyle over at Total Nonstop Impact. Kyle, started with us and over with BQ at the Impact Lounge. Their show, the Total Nonstop Impact podcast, was actually picked up and added to Vince Russo's The Brand. So I do want to give big shout outs to our boy Kyle and congratulations. I know that was Kyle's goal the whole time, so well deserved. Kyle works hard and is great at what he does.
Yeah, congratulations, Kyle, man. It's been a pleasure working with him over the years and being friends with him, and it's really good to see good things happen to good people. So congratulations, Kyle. This is absolutely what he wanted, so couldn't be happier for the guy.
Good people. Let's keep it real. Kyle is a very proud scumbag. Let's not forget that. So
as long as he remembers he's a scumbag and remembers his scumbag friends.
We can't let the guys cover too much, So, all right, well, we're going to hop into the news here. Before Goldberg hops on, and the dude is sending those filthy pictures. And some of you who watched a live broadcast actually got to see the what goes on in the chat when the disgusted in wrestling dude pops on. Somehow this man is disgusted in wrestling if you see the shit that he posts in these chats sometimes.
It has happened. Yeah. That was funny.
All right. Well, the last time we did this show, we were all kind of pissed off. I think it's been like 3 weeks. Quite a bit has happened, and just when you thought, the wrestlers supporting domestic terrorism and rioting and everything in the world couldn't make us hate wrestling even worse or make wrestling look even worse than it does, the speaking out movement fucking happened. So, you got Joey Ryan, Jesus Christ, what is the guy's, what's Justin Roberts, Darby Allin, Jim Cornette, Dave Lagana, Michael Elgin, Sammy Guevara, which one of the Chris brothers was it, Dave or Jake?
Dave.
Dave have all been hit. Some of them have lost their jobs. Cornette is a cuck and admitted it, but I actually believe his story. Jesus Christ, man. What a fucking black eye and just staying on the business Is it possible to like anyone anymore? Like, Jesus. I'll start with the exalted, disgusted dude first here, and we'll head over to Goldberg after this for his comments on it. But Jesus, man, your thoughts?
Dude, I don't even know where to begin. It feels like there's two types of people in wrestling these days. Those that are really disgusting pigs and those that just really want to attack people because they can. They're all terrible. Like, wrestling's a disgusting industry. And, God, I know what the argument's going to be. Don't blame the victim, this, that, the other. Oh, you should have known, blah, blah, blah. But there's... I don't let my kids watch. I have girls. I don't let them watch professional wrestling because I don't want them to want to have anything to do with it because it's terrible. So don't do that. And it's a horrible industry. And I just feel like if women would just not go there, then they would have to be nice to them because they still need women. But I mean, the things that have gone wrong in the industry as pertains to treating women, they're well documented. We all know that they're there and what they've been like, and they're disgusting. I mean, they're just disgusting. But I feel like they're getting the wrong people. I feel like Michael Elgin, a married man, probably shouldn't be sending out dick pics. But at the same point in time, Raven Effect, it's kind of like, it's not a crime. It is sort of lewd and disgusting, and I don't want to look at his, Lil Willie either. But I feel like they should be going after somebody like Vince McMahon, who has reportedly made women sleep with him for freaking years to promote them. I feel like that's who they should be going after. And I feel like if you cut the head off of the snake, and he is the snake, that it's going to get you a lot further. So, but I'm disgusted because talking about a married man sending dick pics. Dave Christ, I mean, my God, what kind of ass just goes out and hurts people and doesn't care? Poor Rich Swann. Why are they doing this now? Why didn't they like suspend or fire him when Rich got hurt? Like, just because somebody said something? To me, management should be fired for that. And that's kind of how I feel. I feel like you're not going to clean anything up unless you clean up management. So go after them. I'm just disgusted. It's really hard to like wrestling right now, dude. It's really hard.
Goldberg, let's kick it over to you and your thoughts on this, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you just hit every nail on the head with what I was going to say. I mean, it's so hard for me to enjoy wrestling right now. That not only wrestling, I mean, sports is being ruined. I'll get to that later. But right now, my problem with it is where do you draw the line between what something like Chris did, between something like you hear a story come out between somebody makes a pass at a woman and gets rejected, and that's it. He gets rejected and goes on his way. Does that really qualify as sexual? I mean, is that as bad as what? Like for instance, Sammy Guevara didn't do anything physical. He never put hands on anybody. He was on a podcast and said something stupid. Does he really deserve a suspension? I mean, he didn't lay hands on anybody. Nobody
goes on a podcast and says something stupid ever. It's never happened.
Yeah, it's
definitely not here.
I mean, but let alone the guy. There was never any follow-up to that. He never made a pass at her. He never did anything physical to her, or at least not that we know about. How can a guy like that get suspended just to please the social justice warriors on Twitter? I mean, to me, that's the only reason that AEW even suspended him, is to please some people. I mean, the Joey Ryan stuff, listen, that guy, it was so obvious that guy had skeletons in his closet, the way he goes after everybody and anybody who says anything to him on Twitter. I mean, it's so hard for me to like. Even I was rooting for AEW at first, and now Joey Janela, which I know, Raven, you want to get in on Joey Janela, but it's just really hard for me to root for them right now. I don't like anyone on their roster. I think they're all a bunch of it's just not enjoyable to me anymore. This is not the wrestling I grew up watching, and it's not. Listen, we knew stuff was going on behind the scenes for years. I never thought they'd be brought down before Hollywood was. But I want your guys' opinion on where do you draw the line between sexual harassment and making a pass at somebody and getting turned down? I mean, where do you draw the line?
I mean, it's when you stop, right? Like, here's the thing. You have to stop if they say stop. And if you stop when they said stop, you're good. And if you start touching them and doing something wrong, like Joey Ryan apparently did.
Right. Well, Joey Ryan crossed the line, but haven't we all been rejected by a woman? I mean,
no,
let's be honest.
Me. Never happened.
Listen, I get rejected by my wife every night. So
I get rejected every night by my wife, so yeah.
It's really hard. I'm with you. It's really hard to like wrestling right now. It's so hard to enjoy it. Every time I turn the TV on, I'm not seeing people that I enjoy watching anymore. This is my whole problem with wrestling, and I know I'm expanding into a different conversation, so I'll save it. But my whole problem is we turn on the TV and we see these guys, and they're saying and doing one thing on TV, and we go on Twitter and see them saying and doing social justice crap and putting us all down if we don't wear a mask. I mean, how am I supposed to believe what I'm seeing on TV when I go on Twitter and I'm seeing that these people are not who they portray themselves as on TV?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a different person. They were playing a character. Ethan Page played by Julian bullshit and stuff like that. But I mean, it's completely different. And like you said, and that's the biggest point, is a lot of these people are about the biggest social justice warrior hypocrites as it comes. Joey Ryan, fuck him. I mean, shit, the dude and I got into it with him months before any of this happened. It's disgusting now to look back at it and the whole touch it stuff and everything he's been doing with the lollipop and just knowing all the stuff that the guy does. It's bad. It's disgusting, and it makes it come off so much different now than when we used to see it when he's playing that scumbag character. Yep. I mean, when you're dropping out like this, you're pretty guilty. I mean, the Chris brother, I'm pretty sure that's not the one that's married to Nevaeh. I'm not 100% sure, but I know like they had to close down their freaking wrestling promotion that they do, their indie promotion, which is just crazy. I really don't know the whole story with Jimmy Havoc or Darby Allin. Really, apparently, like Allen's ex-girlfriend was accusing them of rape. And then the Jim Cornette stuff. I actually listened to the guy's show, and when he addressed the allegations, I actually kind of believe him. He admitted parts of it, but and it's kind of funny because about the last 20 minutes of that podcast where he addresses it are about the best thing I've heard. But it's like you reap what you sow, because the people coming after Cornette are the cancel culture Democrats that Jim Cornette really represents is a Democrat himself. So it's kind of bites you in the ass. And then you have like Dave Lagana, resigning from NWA after the allegations come out where I think he invited some independent wrestler and she was sleeping in his bed and he started fondling herself while he was beating it or something like that. And
he was sleeping, man. They were sleeping and he kind of rolled on top of her. It happens, man. I did it to my wife before.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that the story? It wasn't the story that he let her live with him? Wasn't she living with him for free?
He let her live with him in his bed, and in the middle of the night, he rolled over and started fondling her. And dude, that's happened to me before with my wife. Like, and I woke up the next morning and was like, holy shit, what did I do? But she's my wife. I can talk to her about it, He was probably mortified. Look, let me ask you guys a question here. And this is the part that really pisses me off. And it's not that I think that these guys are innocent. Well, actually, I don't know if they're innocent or guilty, right? But and you are actually innocent until proven guilty. That is kind of what the fuck America's supposed to be about. The social justice warrior on social media bullshit is bullshit. You get your day in court. But why are we punishing people, okay, like Michael Elgin, like Sammy Guevara, like Dave Lagana, for shit that happened before they ever started working for the company? Like, I'm sorry, but if it doesn't happen when you work for my company, I don't understand why I'm supposed to be punishing you. Like, I should tell you don't do it, and if you do it, you're going to be in a shitload of trouble. Yes, that's called responsibility. But my God, if Sammy Guevara, as an example, had actually committed a crime and been sent to jail, he'd have been out of jail years ago. And the very same people that are trying to have him suspended, fired, and whatnot would have all been like, no, He served his justice. He served his time to society. He paid his debt. Well, dude didn't have a debt to pay, and it happened in the past. So, what do you guys think about that?
As far as the Sammy thing, man, it's a comment. It's the comments are different from actions. I understand. We've all been, dude. Like, I've been an idiot my entire life, but I mean, I was a bigger idiot when I was 18, when I was 22, when I was 25 or 26, as compared to today at 36. You know what I mean? It didn't happen with the company. He didn't do anything. He got talked to by the woman. He apologized. They suspended. Apparently, he's coming off of his suspension, is what I've heard. Which I don't think you should have been suspended to start with. The guy apologized. Stop fucking crucifying everyone for every mistake that they've done or everything they've said, because Lord knows every one of us has some shit that we've said or done that we wish we could take back.
This
I do want
entire
to talk about
podcast.
Justin Roberts and Michael Elgin here soon too, but.
Yeah, well, here's my question to you guys about Sammy Guevara, and maybe I took it differently than other people would, but don't you think his comment of "I'd rape her" or "I'd rape that"? What exactly? I don't want to mix his words up. What exactly were the words that he used?
She looks so good, I'd rape her.
I just wanted to go rape that girl.
Yeah, I wanted to rape her.
Okay, now does anybody actually think that he meant those words literally?
No, oh God, no!
He
Oh,
wanted to
fuck
fuck
no.
the shit out of her.
Okay, so in man speak, it was I would hit that. Right? I mean, isn't it the same as I would hit that?
I mean, that's what he meant.
In other words,
it's comparable to I would hit that. I mean, yeah, he used wrong words. He was a kid at the time. What was he? 21, 22 when he made the comments, maybe even younger. I mean, and you're right. It happened before he was even employed by AEW, before they even existed. I don't understand how you could punish somebody. And with the Michael Elgin thing, they knew about that when they hired him. I mean, that story came out prior. That didn't just come out. They look Scott D'Amore and Don Callis look. To me, they look awful in this because they knew damn well when they hired I mean, they got to hire all the Canadians in TNA, but they knew what was going on when they hired him. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. And look, to your point, I'm being brutally honest, and I'm not saying this just to not have people attack me on Twitter, because they're going to do that anyway, and I don't give a shit. But I don't think what Sammy Guevara said was funny, and I wouldn't have laughed if I'd have heard it on a podcast. If he had changed the word rape to fuck, I would have laughed. But I do realize the difference, because I'm sane, between a joke going bad that wasn't funny and somebody that actually wanted to rape somebody, and wait for it, somebody that actually did. Because I hate to break the news to people, but wanting to rape somebody, still not a crime. Still not a crime. Don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning it. Just saying, they don't come and take you away and arrest you and then put a scarlet letter on you for the rest of your life for it. Not a crime.
Yeah, I agree. And it's sad that people take it serious. Of course, the word choice was wrong and stupid, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have laughed at it. I wouldn't know what he was talking about because I have a clear, level-headed mind. But, at the same time, though, it's like I see, and to go back to the Michael Elgin thing, he did get cleared of the original charges. This was a new thing that came up, actually, a different girl. And it sucks because it's like you're shitting on the guy right after he finally gets his name cleared. It just wrecked his fucking career that was going so damn well in Impact. I feel bad for it. And I've warned dudes, like my friends and shit, for fucking years about how stupid sending pictures of your dick is. Because I've always looked at it as like these girls, I've been single, for the past 4 years. Before I got married, I was wilding out and having fun and all. I've had multiple girls ask me for dick pics over the years. I've never sent one because I've always thought, like, I don't want to have my dick wind up in the middle of Facebook from my friends and my mom and my dad and my grandma and aunts and uncles to see when some girl gets upset with me or vice versa.
If I had your dick, I'd close my eyes when I pissed. I'm just saying.
But the thing is, the Elgin thing, but just, this is the point I want to make, though. How the fuck is Justin Roberts still goddamn employed while everyone else I've seen get fired or punished or something like that? This dude, literally, it was on the fucking internet of him asking a like 15-year-old girl for nude pictures, and there were 2 or 3 different girls that came out, and Tony Khan came out and censored it, and he's out there in a Hawaiian shirt with a slick back hair looking like he's about to, child rape someone else coming up on Fyter Fest. Like, how is this dude unpunished and under the radar?
So
that's what I want to know.
So a couple things here, right? First of all, he look, I got a 13-year-old. That's well documented on this particular episode. But the location where he was when he did it, it was not actually illegal. So obviously, as a father of a 13-year-old, this is something that's going to be near and dear to my heart, that what kind of piece of shit would do that. However, no crime was committed. He was not working for AEW when this happened. This is a long time ago. And I don't like punishing people for stuff that's not illegal or happened a long time ago. Now, we could make a very strong argument that it should have been illegal and that they should consider changing their laws. And I agree, and I applaud, and I have never solicited sex from a 15-year-old. Well, not since it became illegal for me anyway. But the bottom line is that when you're talking about punishment, there needs to be like a crime, not just we find it morally offensive in our country. It needs to be morally offensive where it happened, and it's not. It should be. We're right, they're wrong, but it's not. The other thing that I got to ask you guys, Brandon, I'm going to ask you this question directly. What kind of a human being receives a dick pic and goes, "That's really offensive. I'm going to hold on to it for the next few years," and then keeps it, and then decides, "Oh, look, there's a whole bunch of people trashing people. I'm going to do it now." Don't you have to be, I mean, do you think that a normal person, what do you think about people that do that? I'd love to hear your take on this.
I think that if you're offended by a picture that is sent to you, when you're offended, you should come out with it at the time of being offended. Like you said, holding on to a picture for how many years and coming out with it, it's joining in with the mob and attacking somebody who's being attacked. You're just joining in with the rest of the mob. If I'm offended by something, I'm going to say it at the moment that I'm offended. I'll let you know right away. Hey, I'm not cool with a dick pic being sent to me. But you sit on it you sit on it for years and then you come out with it. I don't believe you were offended at the time the picture was sent. That's my take on it. I'm not convinced that you were offended when the picture originally came to you.
I agree. And I mean, look, God damn it, you sick motherfucker. And let's
wait. I want to also say something about Elgin, which Raven just touched on. I kind of feel for the guy in the matter that this guy was really pushing hard for Impact, and he's one of the reasons why I tuned into Impact maybe a month or two ago and gave them another chance, is because that guy was on Twitter every single day pushing the product. And I don't know if you guys have tuned in, but I gave them another shot because of him. I mean, he's been out there. He's been out there advertising for them. I mean, every single day on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Well, I'm not convinced that he's fired, but what I will say is that I did find RVE's dick pic online, and I just sent it to you, Brandon, and I'm waiting for you to tell me that you're offended by these dick pics. Okay?
I didn't look down.
The penis is everywhere now. And well, that's the thing too. And Mike Elgin is our next topic of conversation. I mean, ironically, look, we've seen a former guest of the show, Chris Levin, act like a giant pussy over the past couple of weeks as well, and go with the allegations on Impact Management. But so Elgin gets fired, who I think should have been a lock to win the world title, the Impact World title at Slammiversary, which we'll discuss right after that. And it sucks that the guy got fired. And apparently it's the termination happened because him and Callahan got into a fight. And you talk about a list of stupid things to get in a fist fight over. Discussing on how a match against Ken Shamrock should start. I'm sure that the dick pic stuff and everything had plenty to do with this, and they probably just doubled the two together, and they probably did that with Dave Christ as well. But it sucks for Elgin, who's been pushing super hard, like Goldberg just mentioned, pushing so hard for Impact. The dude's been having fantastic matches since he got over there. Really, I've been looking forward to the guy becoming the champion. It seemed like a shoe-in. And now they've got a shitbag main event, which we're going to hold off on why. Or just kind of stick to the Elgin stuff here. But Goldberg, anything you want to add in before we go to the disgusting dude here?
Well, I think he should already have the title around his waist. I think he should already had it. And about these dick pics, I'm definitely saving these for 4 years, and I'm going to come out with these in 4 years and let you know I was completely offended. These are terrible. I mean, just especially the last one.
That's right. Cancel the dude.
You're going to get canceled 4 years from now for sure. But yeah, Elgin should have already had the title around his waist. I mean, okay. I want to save the rest for, like you just said, the main event. I don't want to talk about the main event yet until later. But I believe Elgin should have already. Do you guys watch the product consistently or?
I know you're new to the show. We actually started as an Impact only show. We've all been a bunch of Impact guys, and now since the Tessa became champ thing, our buddy Hurls, who's not with us, is really the only pro Impact guy. I actually, because of the all the shit that's going on, and Tessa's no longer the champ, and so may be coming in, and all these rumors, I actually turned in for the first time this entire year. This past Tuesday, I actually just finished the show today. I recorded it. Was not impressed by any means with the show, but I mean, we're all huge TNA Impact guys for basically it's the reason the show exists.
Yeah, and I haven't been watching because of the Tessa and the intergender in general. I'm not a fan of intergender wrestling, and I kind of felt like they left me, not the other way around. They decided to appeal to a younger market of people, and that's fine if that's what they want to appeal to, but then they're going to lose some of their elder statesmen, right? I'm not that I'm that old, but you get the point. So that's kind of where I stand on it. I still spend a lot of time on Impact Asylum, and I know that there are some diehards over there, but there are some folks that are kind of pointing out. I don't know that he's not fired, but all they said is he's been removed from all their programming. They did not say, I do not believe it said he had been released. So it's possible that he could come back and show up in an angle of some form. Again, I think a lot of that is people, being hopeful. And that's what Impact fans do, because that's what you have to do to be an Impact fan. But I read it again, and they're not really wrong the way it was written.
Well, I stopped watching Impact when Eli Drake refused to fight a woman, and he was fired for it. And that's when I stopped watching, and then they put the belt around Tessa. And who didn't see that coming, that it was the dumbest decision of all time? I mean, it was so predictable that was going to wind up coming back to bite them in the ass. It was so predictable. And now she has the nerve to not send her promos in when they gave her literally everything she wanted, including a heavyweight championship belt when she defeated Brian Cage and Michael Elgin.
I know, right?
I mean, who's watching this and thinking this is legitimate? It's so stupid that you got to suspend disbelief when you're watching wrestling. But I'm supposed to believe a woman who can't beat me up is defeating two guys who are 3 times my size. I mean, and that's when I stopped watching, because Eli Drake to me was him on the mic is great, and in the ring he's great. And when that happened, I stopped watching.
You bring this up, and the Eli Drake thing was tough for both of us. I can say that. It definitely made the two of us question if we're going to watch, because we're huge Eli Drake guys ourselves as well. But first time doing the podcast, we just transitioned perfectly into what we were going to. So, I mean, Tessa Blanchard is now released from Impact. The Impact World title is stripped. You asked who didn't see that coming as a stupid decision. I can tell you it wasn't on our show, because we crucified the living shit out of it. But holy shit, this went, like we've said that, look, you're killing the credibility of the world title. You're killing any kind of realism and just the integrity of Impact Wrestling to start doing this idiotic decision. But now fucking look what's happening, because you took your entire male roster and you buried them for this fucking woman and made your entire male roster look like jokes for this fucking woman who is ungrateful, who doesn't show up. Now you have it to where she's not even going to drop the title to a man. She's never going to lose it. She just watches it. She can go on to literally AEW, WWE, NXT, even the MLW room, and just put the Impact Men's World title in the garbage to go wrestle women somewhere else. Now you have the TNA title back, which it's like, you know, already had it. It's fucking criticisms for not being, what do you call it? For you know, TNA had its criticisms for losing its credibility. Now you got 2 world titles with no credibility to it. It's just embarrassing. And the nerve of this fucking cunt to not show up, to send fucking selfies of herself sunbathing out with other wrestlers in fucking Mexico, and not send in promos for your job that made you the fucking world champion of the men, that gave you everything you could want and more, to not even do it. Fuck you fucking bitch. Like, fuck this goddamn cunt. And I guarantee you on anything that, for one, she intentionally tried to get fired, and she did this on purpose. And 2, if it's WWE or AEW that signs her, she'll show up tomorrow if they ask her to. Impact, dude, whatever your name is now.
You know, I've been saying this forever, that them giving Tessa Blanchard the belt would be the dumbest decision of all time. And they managed to make it beyond the dumbest decision of all time. Of all the LOL TNA moments, congratulations, Don Callis. Congratulations, Scott D'Amore. You managed to create a female world champion who was literally half the size, okay, of the men that she was beating. And you literally, without jobbing it, Tessa Blanchard, and I know you guys are getting a little long in the tooth, okay? I know you might think the dementia could be setting in, and I understand that the Blanchard name is synonymous to 4 Horsemen, but that was Tully, and Tully was still never Ric Flair. You do not let Tessa Blanchard leave without dropping the belt. She ain't no fucking Ric Flair, okay? It's asinine, it's stupid, and they're getting what they deserve. And this is why I said before, when they started bringing back the TNA belt, did they just bury the Impact name so badly they have to?
Maybe.
They might just do away with the Impact belt completely out of this, and that's their way of getting out of this. It isn't going to work, but this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in wrestling. And look, I watch a lot of Vince Russo stupid shit too in the day, my friend. Sorry, Earl.
And Goldberg, I'm going to go back to you before we actually get into the main event. Anything you want to chime in here?
Yeah. So I think that this whole giving Tessa the belt thing, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think this completely started as a publicity stunt for Impact. And I think it was intergender wrestling was in right when this whole thing started. And I think that they gave her the belt so that people would turn the television channel to Impact, and they thought it was going to be a big hit, and it came back to bite them in the ass. It was stupid. And now, like you said, they completely buried every male that they had on the roster. And I honestly can't tell you one name of a guy that I think could be a heavyweight champion now that Elgin's gone in that company.
Moose.
Other than the people, Moose, but Moose. Moose should be the heavyweight champion. He should. But other than him, they buried everyone. I mean, I know we're going to get to this, but they have cruiserweights in the heavyweight championship match. They buried there's no heavyweight left on that roster other than Moose and Ken Shamrock, who's I don't know if you watch, but this guy can't cut a promo anymore. He's lost his mind. I mean, he's been hit in the head so many times that he can't keep his train of thought. And Sami Callihan lost to Tessa straight up. So who's left on that roster other than Moose that can carry that company, other than the people that they're teasing, who I don't even know if they're bringing in or not.
Yeah, the Shamrock promos are about as coherent as a Joe Biden interview at this point. It's gotten pretty bad. But, I mean, yeah, and now, so Slammiversary, it starts up as a 5-way match. We're thinking, why is it King of the Mountain? Now we're down to Eddie Edwards, Bray Miguel, and the Dork, the magician Dork, Ace Austin. Like, it's and a mystery partner now. And it's got to be, like, I'm saying that the mystery guys either going to be EY, EC3, or they're going to put Moose in. If you watch the past show, I just kind of got a feeling they're going to have Moose win both belts. But it's a shit piss poor main event. The card itself is just, the guy, God, who wants to pay money to watch that card for Slammiversary too, which I've never missed a fucking Slammiversary, but it's just bad. And oh God, I don't know what they're doing, and I didn't know what they were doing to start, but it's like Elgin and Eddie are going to save it, and I figure the mystery guy's going to win it, but at the same point, I mean, Eddie Edwards deserves it again, and I feel like, just someone say they give it to EY or EC3, it's really kind of a slap in Eddie's face, but putting it on, like, you have me, I'm going to watch because the guys are coming back or whatever. But if you put the belt on Ace Austin or Trey Miguel, just count me out.
Wait. Let me just say one more thing, because you just brought something up that reminded me of something. Impact has this thing where they bring someone back and they immediately put them in the title picture. I mean, as soon as they come back, they win one match and they're a title contender. Who's fighting for the women's championship at Slammiversary? Do you guys know?
Yes.
Purrazzo
it's Jordan
against,
Disgrace and Deonna Purrazzo.
When did Purrazzo make her debut?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay, so what? She shouldn't be. I get it. It's Slammiversary. They want people to watch, but they constantly do this. They bring people in and they put the belt on them right away. Have you guys noticed that too, or no?
Yeah, of course.
But they need to.
Yeah.
Look, it's very clear what you said about them trying to get attention by putting Tessa out there and being best, being first was true, but they got their attention. The problem is that they spent too much time reading Eric Bischoff's book. Controversy does not always create cash, folks. It has to be the right kind of controversy.
Well, and the funny thing about it, too, is it's like they did this, they put the belt on her for shock value to appeal to the woke crowd and all that shit. And I don't think they gained a single solid viewer, a consistent viewer out of it, but they sure as shit lost some loyal fans because of it. And it's just, and now, it's, the world title has some credibility to it. I was always able to say that. I think they saved themselves with EY and Hardy after they won the belts. But it's so shot to shit now, and it's just embarrassing.
I mean, I think Moose is doing a great job with his angle. I think he's selling it. I don't know if you guys saw the clip of EC3's music playing after Moose won that match.
I didn't. I heard about it.
You should check out the YouTube clip. I mean, Moose is doing such a good job selling it, and the way he was shocked to hear EC3's music, and he's just. He has main event written on him. I just hope they don't screw him up too. I mean, I guess they can't now unless they, I don't know. Is there any women left that they can have beat Moose or
Jordan Disgrace?
Don't give Jordan.
Don't get me started.
Can we get to her later? I hope we can get to her later.
I mean, you can get to her, but I'll let you have her.
No one has hated more on the HeelCast than Jordan Grace.
I think it goes without saying. And Joey Janela is on my list. This
Joey
guy
Janela's right up there, but Jordan Disgrace is number one.
Who is Joey Janela? Is he a somebody? I mean, who does he even think he is that he can come out? To me, Austin Aries and Low Key are a bigger name than Joey Janela.
Oh yeah, and they've done way more.
And he's coming out and putting these people on with the rest of the social justice warriors. He thinks they're all going to jump on his back. Oh yeah, you get him, Joey. I think he's a. I mean, it's my first time on the show. I don't know what the restrictions are, but
there are no restrictions.
I think he's a fucking faggot, and I can't stand him. And if he ever comes on my TV while TNT is on, I'm flipping the channel as fast as I possibly can. I mean, what tag? Do you see the tag team he's in now?
Yeah, it's funny. They put him with like the only guy he could actually probably beat up in a shoe.
Guy. That's a guy.
If he identifies as one, but
Billy
Furnham?
and Chuck 2.0.
It's
oh right,
Rico's
Sunny Kiss.
Rico's gonna come out and marry them.
And it's funny because I got into it with Janela a couple of weeks back. He kind of actually attacked me on some girl's Twitter page, and I really fucking torched the guy, and he ended up blocking me. And he's calling everyone Virgin Boy. It's like, okay, we get it. You're the only person in history that's a solid 1 that pulled a solid 10 because someone used you to get into the business. Good for you. And that's his big claim there. But dude's just a joke and a bum. He looks like Carrot Top if Carrot Top never went to the gym and Carrot Top smoked meth instead of taking protein and steroids. It's the guy's a pathetic joke.
Dude, Carrot Top is
but
ripped. The only thing they have in common is curly hair.
Red curly hair.
But these indie guys, man, they think they're over, and I'm just not buying it. Maybe I'm not up to date on who's over and who's not, but you guys look at Joey Janela as a guy who's, I mean, could he contend for any kind of title?
Joey Janela is the epitome of indie wrestler. He's just an idiot that nobody really wants to watch. But see, he's trying to make a name for himself by going after somebody a little bit bigger because he thinks he can. But here's the neat thing about these social justice warriors. As soon as they think they have dirt on you, they turn on you. And sooner or later, they're going to eat each other up. And they're going to take care of Joey Janela for us. I'm convinced of it. Because there's no way that guy is squeaky clean.
Or, something will come out about him.
And by the way, how did he ever get his dick inside of Penelope Ford anyway? Somebody explain that to me.
She used him. Simple as that.
She could use me.
Yeah, same here.
I'd be fine with it.
It is Jake Hager's wife, too.
Well, if she ever wants to be on this podcast, she better call one of you guys.
Now, kind of trying to progress forward here. Now, the Tessa Blanchard thing as we move on. It's been rumored she may be possibly going to MLW now. There's rumors that WWE's been talking to her. We've seen Big Swole portraying or pushing for her to come over to AEW. Of course, her dad is there. If she goes to Impact or MLW and throws the Impact title in the trash, like how embarrassing does that got to be? It's one thing when it's WWE or AEW, you know what I mean, the big dogs, but it's and I know she apparently burned a bridge with WWE, but anyone buying that, you're out of your mind. My thing with her going to AEW is if Tony Khan, you can hire rapists and people trying to get nudes out of little girls, but don't you dare say racial comments because that's the most offensive and heinous crime in the world to some of these people. And I really feel like that may be hampering her from coming into AEW. Any thoughts or predictions, Goldberg?
Yeah, I don't see her getting hired anytime soon. I think they're going to let it kind of die down a little bit after what she pulled with Impact. But if she's going to go anywhere, obviously it's going to be AEW. I mean, that would be the place for her. And I just hope. Listen, they could use her too because the women's division. Let's be real, it sucks. They don't have their women's division is terrible. Like Cornette says, they got Japanese schoolgirl as their champion. It's their women's division is so weak, and they're so green. I mean, if you watch a women's AEW match, you could literally fall asleep watching it. I mean, there's botch after botch. They could definitely use Tessa. I think that will be her home, but I think that AEW is going to let what just happened with her die down a little bit. And also she does have the stigma of, I guess she made some racist comments. And I think that stigma's on her because aren't there some women on the roster in AEW that kind of don't like her?
Yeah, I'm not feeling like she's got a home in AEW anytime soon. Basically, the way that I'm looking at it is Tony Khan, he spoke out massively about Hulk Hogan and then Linda Hogan and everything else, and he's going to allow Tessa Blanchard on the roster. I think he needs her. I think he needs her badly, but, when you're a social justice warrior and you start having, Sammy Guevara that you're suspending and you've already got Mike Tyson on the roster, guy who actually did rape somebody. Although, like I said, I think he served his time and he can be freed at this point, but that's me. Now you're going to bring Tessa Blanchard in, and you just start to look like a complete idiot. And that's what Tony Khan's starting to look like. And guys, the ratings are showing it. They've lost 3 weeks in a row. You know what I'm saying? So,
yep.
So I don't know that she has a home in AEW. I think she should go to AEW. I think they need her. But I don't think that you can just let her carry a company because she's just immature. It's just the way that it works.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it. I think AEW desperately needs her, and I mean, Goldberg hit it on the head. I mean, it's nothing we haven't mentioned time and time again on this show about how terrible that AEW women's division is. They need her more than anyone by far. I just don't, because of the racial comment stuff, I don't see her getting hired there. And yeah, Tony Khan, you know, you have him looking like a massive fucking hypocrite. Yeah, your wrestlers coming out supporting domestic terrorists, and all of a sudden your ratings are fucking tanking 3 out of those 4 weeks since it's happened. Kind of put 2 and 2 together. WWE, on the other hand, being smart, you don't see their wrestlers really talking about politics too much. Obviously, there was a little thing we talked about last time we did a show, but that's about it. And so I guess we'll see what happens with the girl. I think MLW be the one to let her keep doing the intergender shit, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens there. Now, talking about people that they are employing, they did hire Ricky Starks, but on a better note, in the crown just yesterday at Fyter Fest was the son of Brian Pillman, Brian Pillman Jr., who has been working for MLW. Who knows if this is a signing or not? I think it could be a huge signing, not huge, but a great signing if they got him. I like the guy. I think he's talented. Maybe because I'm a fucking mark for the guy's dad, like nobody else. But dude, you're.
Well, they should bring They should bring his tag team partner along with him.
150% agree.
Yeah, I think that would help him get over. I mean, he's right now, unless you watch MLW, who's really his name is alone will get people watching, but you got to bring. I think you got to bring his tag team partner with him. Obviously, we know Teddy Hart's out of the equation, but I think they should bring Davey Boy Jr. with him.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. You know, I think there's a lot of talk about people moving around. I think the rosters are already large enough. My biggest issue with, Impact in particular, signing too many more people is they cut a lot of heads. And it's been a couple years now. And they have to look at it and say, we've been building these people. And yes, Ace Austin should not be main eventing Slammiversary. I gotcha. I agree with you. But, they start bringing in 4 or 5 new people, and they might as well just drop him. And all the effort they put into him is for nothing.
Okay. I'm going to agree. I agree with you. Right there. Ace Austin, I'm okay with him actually being in the main event, because when AJ Styles started main eventing, I mean, you could have looked at he was a star of the X division before he went over to the heavyweight. So maybe Ace Austin has something that maybe we'll see coming up in the future. But the fact that they have 2 cruiserweights in that title match is what bothers me. Having Trey in that match too, it's a cruiserweight title match. It's not a heavyweight match. But Ace Austin could have a bright future. I'm not going to completely, write him off right away.
He's, in my mind, he's still too green. I do agree with you about the bright future part, because I do think you need to realize these people were put on TV earlier than they should have been. But I think he should also be in the X division where he belongs, because you start bringing in EY, you start bringing in EC3, you bring in, God forbid, James Storm. There's just no room for Ace Austin anymore, right? And now all of a sudden he becomes an afterthought, and if they would have just promoted him for what he was and was good at and dealt with him properly to begin with, you're in a better spot.
Yeah. One more thought on Tessa. She's got to work on her mic skills, because I don't buy one word she says.
Yeah, terribly.
They shouldn't either, dude. She's a fucking liar.
True. So I've got to get going here in a few minutes. I will try and get on the next topic here before we go. Let's see. What do I got next on the agenda here is the Brian Cage and Jon Moxley match has been pushed back and to Fight for the Fallen. So I believe Fight for the Fallen was actually about the soldiers. I can't remember. It might be something different, but I'm actually baffled that AEW would actually support the troops at this point. But his wife actually caught the coronavirus. Isn't it Renee Young? Is that her name?
Yes, that's it.
Oh, God. I can't stand her.
I don't know much about her other than she's married to Mox and works for the Devil's Company. But it's this, and apparently they're upset with WWE is apparently upset with AEW over the Taz comment about a sloppy organization or sloppy ship or something like that. Taking the shot at WWE with their testing. I don't even want to get into coronavirus talk, really. I just put the fucking title on Brian Cage. That's all I got to say on that. Dude, your thoughts?
Yeah. This isn't Mox's fault. I think he's really over. I think he's way more over than what Cage is and is going to be near term. I think we want Cage to win the title because we like Cage because we're Impact marks, right? I think Moxley should continue to be champ. I don't think this is a time where you take the belt off the champ because his wife got infected. I think shit happens. So I would give Mox a pass on that one. That's what I would do. And I forgot to mention earlier, Greg just posted in our chat window about WWE purchasing Evolve. I did read about that earlier this evening. Just as a news flash for anybody that isn't aware, they did purchase Evolve out, and they have the right to do shows as well as the video library, which is probably what they were after. So, Greg, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, not surprised. I mean, they basically owned him anyways. Polsky's a little rat weasel, so it works out, fits right in. So, and I don't blame Mox whatsoever for doing what he's doing, or he shouldn't be punished by any means. I just think his world title reign has been lame. Unfortunately, they just had Cage squash a bunch of jobbers, so it's basically he's going to go out there and lose to Moxley, and it's not going to make him look like he was, the dominant force that he was. I would love to see the guy win the world title. I think it's time to get it off of Mox.
Let's be fair though now, and I'm not going to disagree with you. His title reign has been lame, but here's a guy who's known for entering through the crowd. There is no crowd. Here's a guy that had trouble traveling when they all had trouble traveling. And all the shows just sucked ass. So he really hasn't had an opportunity. Thinking about it, now might be a good time if you're going to put a belt on a guy like Cage, who's not as charismatic. Because he's not. Right? Now might be the time to do it because there's no crowd to have to play to. And you can, kind of cheat a little bit and help him out. But I don't know that I blame Moxley for this run. I think it's just the timing sucks ass. By the way, Mr. Goldberg, how do you like the pictures I've been sending you of the woman that you love so much?
She's the only woman who can, wait. Oh man, I gotta go.
So you like it? All right, good.
Wait, I wanted to get your guys'. I know we're running short on time, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion on two quick things with AEW. One being, what do you guys think of the fact that every time they bring in someone dominant like Brian Cage or Lance Hoyt's character? Forget his name now.
Yeah, Archer.
Lance Archer and Brody Lee.
The only matches they ever put these guys in are squash matches. Every time they're on TV, they're beating the pulp out of some indie guy. And let's just start with that. What do you guys think of that? They're just and wait, the other thing, Cody Rhodes and his belt. If he's going to defend the belt every week, does anyone here think that he's ever going to lose until at least a month or two from now, probably longer? If you're defending a belt every week, he's going to keep winning, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think you should have dropped it on Tuesday, to be honest. But
I agree with you on that one.
I think Cage should have went over. But
yeah, he's going to hold that belt for a while.
And I feel the same way. I feel like basically they're going to do the same thing with Cage they did with Lee and with Archer. They're going to build them up strong, then they're going to lose, and then they're not going to know what to do with them. I mean, look, now we have Archer feuding with shit-stained Carrot Top that we were just talking about. So.
The joke.
The part of these jobber things has been due to travel restrictions, but the travel restrictions have been lifted quite a bit, so it is time for them to put out a better product now, right? And actually give us good product.
Yeah, real quick. I know we're running real short, but I mentioned this to you, Raven, on Twitter. What do you think of taking one of these jobbers and letting them win a match and putting them over immediately on somebody? You immediately will get
1, 2, 3 kid.
Yeah, you'll immediately get somebody over right away. Have them beat. I don't know. I'm not going to call it anyone specific, but have them go over on somebody who's over, and immediately they're over, and you got the crowd talking about
if they can find the right guy with the right talent, you know what I mean, it'd be a good thing. And someone
it wasn't Pineapple Pete, that's for sure.
Right. So
I like Pineapple Pete, damn it.
He's 0-3. Got to get a win.
And I know you said we're short on time. I'm actually short on time. You guys actually can take all the time that you want to.
I got to roll too, my friend. So let's wrap it.
All right. Well, I'm just going to say this then as we close out the show then. Impact was kind of boring to me. The EYTs was nice. And it was decent of me to watch Impact again. Like, it felt kind of good in its own right. I loved and hated Fyter Fest Night 1. Thought the wrestling and the action was great. I hated the fucking results on everything except the women's title match and the main event tag match. Man, Santana and Ortiz are so much better than what they're getting. They're jobbing out to fucking Private Party again and garbage like that. Breaking up MJF and Wardlow already is stupid. Stop teasing this. They're not Shawn Michaels and Diesel level by any means yet, so stop what you're doing. It's obvious Wardlow's going to be the guy that beats MJF. And shit, what was it? Best friends stopped jerking each other off. Like, the hugging and Trent's mom driving him out. Just stupid. It took away from the match. And I'm so upset about Santana Ortiz and Lucha Brothers and the way that they're being used. Those are the two best teams in the world, and just the way they get booked over there, it sucks. But those are my closing thoughts on the show. Anything to you guys?
Yeah, you summed me up pretty good, my friend.
All right, debut Goldberg.
So I'll just say that I'm going to give Impact one more chance here, July 18th, and I'm looking forward to some of these surprises that they're teasing coming through. I hope they do. I hope Eric Young debuts. I don't know about EC3. I wouldn't mind seeing Aces and Eights. I hope they pull through at least some of these surprises, and I'll be tuning in to watch. That's it.
All right. Look, next time we won't be so rushed. Probably not have as much content as well, but I want to thank the debuting Goldberg. He'll definitely be back on with us. Get some more stuff off his chest. This is the RBE on behalf of the Disgusting Wrestling Dude and Goldberg. HeelCast out. Have a great night.
See ya.